Hello everyone out there, and here is our Buick freshly delivered derby car. As crazy as that sounds, it was actually driven to my house. Saved me the time as well as the gas to get there and back and load it. So that's kind of ultimately why I paid 50 bucks more than I was really planned or wanted to spend. As you can see up front, all this plastic stuff is beat up and hanging. The hood there has a pretty good dent, but underneath, this Buick's so big, and she's got a big V6 in her, that there is so much space up front that didn't even dent or bend in at all. There's the kind of hard to see with the light, but it didn't even get to that front rebar. So right there it is, part of it, and goes across. It's just this plastic nonsense in the headlights. So I said, all right, she runs pretty good. As I said, it was driven here. Big motor, big old Buick, 4-door. The gas tank is inside the wheel well, and I mean, the gas lines are pretty clean, but I think we're going to end up taking this. It's got a big old trunk. We're going to have to beat that with a hammer around the edge and press it up with the jack to try to help fold her up and in. But I think we are going to pull the gas tank out so I can mount it in here because it's a bigger open track I'm going to. Plan on taking this one to Jefferson City a week from yesterday, and plan on being able to not only put some runs on but have some runs potentially put on us. And we want to keep that back end. Kind of a neat feature here. You hold the unlock on the passenger side door and it unlocks the trunk. I've never seen that in a vehicle. So as you can see, big old trunk. And lift up here just this cloth piece, and she's got a big old spare tire that was there. Spare tire was out of it, so we want that to crunch up and in. So probably beat around with the hammer, press that up, help it kind of roll in. Did that with our Lexus, or our Chrysler LHS rather, not a Lexus, Chrysler, and worked well. So here's just kind of a first look. We're going to dive into her. Today we're going to strip out right now the inside quickly, and then I want to get to the windows because today is a really hot day, trying to let that sun beat on it, and then we'll go from there. And we're going to try to make a time-lapse video with my phone for this. First time I've tried with that. We'll see if that works. But here's our first look. Runs pretty good, so we are pretty hopeful for this big old boat, but we'll see. So let's get to it. So just a quick look as we've got the back end stripped out. The doors are just hanging there. I got the door windows out here on the driver's side, the main front passenger door, and then this side door. And not too bad, just bolts there, and a bolt behind the handle. That seems to be consistent where they are. Screwdriver, pop it out. And then these guys are what the windows were sitting in. Pretty simple. Let's see, it would have been, yeah, I think it was like this. Either way though, it's sitting in there. Just had to pop out the one part of it and then just kind of tap with my screwdriver down to get it off the window so that it'd slide up and out. This one here, a little bit tighter. You can see I had to bust just that little plastic junk out. But then the back seat's out, top and bottom, and then the trunk, I think I still got her unlatched. Yep. She's emptied out, and again, a lot of space in there. She's gonna munch up nice, so we'll try to get that lifted here. So getting to about 5 o'clock here. See the other car over there. I want to get the windshields removed out of these, so both front and rear. I wanted to get all the plastic here and that. I have it all out of that one, but I'm kind of running out of time here with the daylight. It's going to take me a good, probably 90 minutes, hopefully no more, to get my reciprocating saw, my Sawzall, and see if we can get underneath the corner up here with our screwdriver or our kind of flat edge, and then get that saw in there and try to keep her all in one piece. The back window, just bust it and then clean it up with the sweeper after. So coming along, now gets to the messy part and not really the fun part. So here is the damage. We've got the front windshield a clean cut out. Have to take the shop vac, of course, now and get this all up. So how I do it, I mean, there's different ways you can do it. This car I did one way. I'm going to do that car the other way. So this car, I used my flathead screwdriver, my, if you will, my chisel, my little paint thinner chisel thing. I don't even know what that thing's called. Small hammer, and then the big guy to really get behind it. And I start getting under it, and then this guy really works well. You know, let the sun beat on it and heat it all day. This has. And then I try to get just under the rubber piece there, and just keep kind of chiseling with the hammer, hitting it, chisel it down. I try to get as far as I can down here, go across the top and down. And then what I do, because it's hard to get to the bottom part with the whole window, I try to carefully, as much as I can, you know, push it from the inside and get it to bend as close as I can down here, which usually it bends about halfway, and then I get under it and push it again to get it to roll over. And you can kind of see it did that. And then you've just got a small piece down here, and same thing. I just kind of chisel my way across, get it out, and you can see it cuts right through whenever it's hot. This window held on tighter than my last two. My last two, it was almost like butter. I was like straight across after the sun beat on it. This one, a little bit tougher. Rear window, there's no gel in it. It's just take a big hammer, hit it in the center 4 or 5 times until she shatters and makes a mess. Knock out all the loose pieces, and then same thing. I take my screwdriver, my hammer, and this, get under it, and then I just kind of clean it out. I believe you could knock this as close as you can to this and tape it, but I just like to take it all out in one fell swoop. So we've made a mess. I put the tarp down before to try to catch, you know, as much as I can in this area, and then I shop vac it up, try to get the big pieces around. This is technically like a field. My camera's kind of not focusing. The sun's starting to set here. Get this cleaned up before the dampness comes in. Then it gets really annoying trying to get the glass up. And then we'll sweep her inside. Again, I wanted to have all the carpet and everything out, but I was like, you know what, I really don't think, just get the seats out. I would have liked to get that passenger seat out, but that one we do. So that's the one way we did it. The other car, that guy there, we're going to use the reciprocating saw or the Sawzall, and I'm going to get it started here, and I'm going to try to cut underneath and down, and then we're just going to cut across the window. Maybe a little more messy, dig into your kind of car here a little bit more, but that doesn't matter. So she's starting to look like a derby car. So here we are diving into the hood. We got the windshields, all of them out. That door I didn't get out yet, but that's an easy pull out. And got, as you can see, the tore up bumper as well as the tore up lights out. Most of them were just hanging there. Unplugged all of our lights. Again, we'll get those inside the core support and the frame rails as much as we can. Tape them up, zip tie them up so they're out of the way, but not going to short us out potentially in any way or blow a fuse like I had my first Derby. So just got to get that little plastic piece in the bottom out, and these fender hold on pretty good. And then inside here, see, that was like the back of the air box here, which just pulled out with those. And that right there is just the cover sitting on top here, but we're going to leave that all open so that not only she breathes better, especially with the hole in the hood, but also just less stuff in there to be beat around. But other than that, you can see it is really nice and spacious up here, at least as much as you'd say it can. The tranny, believe right down there is 1 and then 2 beside it, and it shouldn't be too bad. I'll get it up on my ramps, and I will just right there cut them and then loop them back around, tighten them down. Although, funny story I guess you'd say, or kind of a disappointing story, the last car I forgot to take out my little connecting piece and my different stuff I used to loop it, so I gotta probably buy some new stuff at the local hardware. Not a big deal, maybe $4 or $5. This guy here, you can see he's got some, I'm not sure if that's the transmission computer. I know it's something important. So we're gonna get that. I think it's just held by these little plastic things. Doesn't seem to be bolted. We're going to get that up. And I don't know, we'll zip tie that in a secure place so we can get that box out of the way. So, finishing up the motor and the front bumper here, and then we'll go to the back bumper and just tear some of the stuff inside, and we're pretty much done. So we are now inside the giant pole barn, my father-in-law's, and just a quick little look here what we're about to do. We had a little bit of a hiccup moving the car around, made me a little nervous. So again, you always want to unplug. There's the sensors, and there's another one on the bottom. You know, your headlights, your sensors, unplug them, make sure that there's nothing, you know, thrown out of whack with the motor. Well, I originally did. Whenever I went to move it, I'm like, huh. So I plugged it all back in, and it still didn't work. And I'm like, what is going on? So what it ended up seemingly to be, as it's not working fine again, is The terminals seem fine. I had a little bit of corrosion around the positive. I just kind of cleaned up. But the battery that was in this that was working fine whenever it was completely hooked up before I moved it, it would turn on, prime the fuel pump, and then nothing. Whenever I turn over, it would like click. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So I grabbed my really good Derby battery, my Marine Gel Derby battery, hooked it up, fired up. So put it in here, unplugged the sensors, not an issue. So it seems like it was just an old battery that after I disconnected and reconnected it, it wasn't all about it. So a little scare there, but that, again, you just unplug stuff, you can plug it back in and go from there. So it's got, the catalytic converter's already cut out of it. The pipe's just kind of hanging there by the strap, so we're going to take that out. Up front here, going to clip our negative and our positive wires, and then we're going to U-bolt them, tape them really good with the black electrical tape, and then our chain there, we'll drill top and bottom, and that's pretty much everything up front. We'll do a little bit of house dressing with the wires and all that. That's pretty much it. And you can see, it's a little windy out here, even in the pole barn. She's big, she's bad, it runs good, but kind of like it reminds me of the PT Cruisers. The front corner of the wheel, it is really exposed. So really going to be a key thing to, you know, not only try to keep this back to the traffic, smash it up, go on some good runs, have some fun, but you always want to keep them out of your front wheels. Well, in particular, my front corner, want to really keep it out of. And then in the back, just got the plastic bumper here. We're going to pull off in the lights, and then we are going to take the sledge and kind of beat around the edge there, and I'm going to press up with the jack to try to flatten that out more, which should help it to roll up. I also think I have 2 spare tires that fit this, as she's a big old car. I think I have 2, one from a wagon and another one I got that'll put us a little bit lower too, which should help to roll it in, because I am going to plan on running the stock tank. The only thing we're going to do, I believe that's for the fuel pump there, we're going to bring that guy in here and safely secure it, probably on those straps, to be honest. I'll put some foam padding around it so it doesn't, you know, as it's ripping around getting beat up. A little bit of glass came loose, and then just going to pull the seats, the carpet, and she's pretty much ready. Put our sign up top, or drill for our sign, and then we're going to get a paint job on her this evening. So not a lot of work left coming down the stretch, and then we're going to dress her up.